most of the steps that we're offering today, these tips, these tools that we're offering today, are from my own experience being raised in a single parent household by my mother. But they are also taken from the many cases that I have been asked and called to get involved in as a community activist. This is a house that we used to live in. Remember this house very well. I grew up in a single parent household. My mother had 5 children and there was no man in the house.
I was a mother that knew, hey, it's just me and them, so I got to go get on food stamps. I got to get that welfare check. When I can work, I work. I got to make sure we get where we need to go.
There were times when the lights weren't on, a lot of times when the water was not on. So we were very poor, but we were making the best of it. My father, my biological father, died when I was 11 years old. My daddy was a hustler, big time. Matter of fact, he was a con man. I didn't see him much, but when I did see him, he made it a point to tell me that he loved me. And he also made it a point to always tell me, don't be like me. When I lost him as a role model at the age of 11, I became even more rebellious than I was before. I did not have a male that I could look at and say, hey, I want to be like that. So my mother, she did the best that she could, and in doing her best, she developed a drug addiction. This is the house that we lived in when I first found out that my mother was, I knew that she was using drugs, but I didn't know that she was smoking crack.
When that came into my life, that presented the most challenges for me as far as raising my children, because it took me from them. It took me from them. It, caused me to neglect my children. That's when the challenges came in for me. When my children would come home from school and I would leave and they wouldn't see me again until the next morning when they got ready to leave for school. That was a challenge. And even in my active addiction, I felt something about that. I felt bad about that. The black woman, the black mother, is the soldier on the front line in the fight to save the black male. And every good soldier needs good ammunition. Every good soldier needs good armament. So these tips are important because we are trying to arm the black woman with the tools that she needs to save her son. In most cases, when a young woman calls me and her son is facing 10 or 20 or 30, 40 years in prison or even life, and I ask the question, where is the father? The answer to that question is usually, I don't know. And so since most of these sisters don't know where the father is, then we have to give them the ammunition that they need to cover down for the father until the black man gets there. The first thing that a woman must do when she has to raise a son by herself is face reality. When you walk up on a swimming pool and you want to jump in, the first thing you look for is the numbers that indicate how deep the water is. 7 feet, 8 feet, 9 feet. Well, let's go over some numbers. The black male makes up 6 to 7% of the population in the United States of America. However, we make up nearly 50% of the prison population in America. Deep waters. Of every 100 murder victims in the United States of America, 49% of them are black. Deep waters.
So you are an attorney and a criminal attorney at that, am I correct?
Yes, I am a criminal attorney, but I also practice in the family courthouse. I also practice in the juvenile justice courthouse and the civil courthouse.
It seems like we've got four corners of mayhem going on down here. This is where you work every day?
Every day.
And tell me what you see in terms of the black males' involvement in the criminal justice system. What do you see every day?
If you were a spectator and you were just sitting in the pews watching the inmates come from outside, and you might have 10 inmates in orange suits, and of those 10, you'll see 9 that are African American males. You might see 1 that's a Hispanic male.
9 out of 10?
9 out of 10.
70% of the households in our community, according to statistics, are led and headed by the black female.
I will not stand by and wait. You know, I will work diligently towards giving my children what it is that they deserve, even if I have to do it by myself.
I've got to provide. I've got to nurture. I'm mommy and daddy, so I just kind of took the role on, just sucked up, I just suck it up and do it most of the time. I've come into quite a few challenges with my oldest son lately because he's of age now where some strong disciplinary actions are needed. And as a mother or as a female, I'm not really equipped to deal with him on the level that he needs to be dealt most of the time.
I can say that I might be going through something, but I really don't know what it is. And so when I'm frustrated, I might, like if she says something, I might give her back talk, take the anger out on her. When maybe I should just take the time and sit down and talk to her and get it off my chest or go talk to someone else and then just stop.
In this book that I'm writing, there's a chapter called The Black Male, Fatherless and Furious. And I give a picture of a road in the black community called Fatherless Road. It is a road that consists of 100 homes, and according to statistics, 70 of these homes are headed by the female. Now let's say you have a black male in every last one of these homes, and they're all born in the same year. Well, somebody's father is dead. Somebody's father may be incarcerated. Somebody's father may not want to claim them. Somebody's father just is derelict in duty. But the commonality there is you have 70 boys on this one block, and they're all growing up without a father. Well, when they get old enough, quite naturally, they're going to come outside and they're going to meet one another. And when you meet somebody, you always connect with that person, not based upon your differences, but based upon your commonalities. And if every last one of them are harboring bitterness in their heart for the lack of a father, then that fatherlessness, which equals bitterness too often, begins to redirect that aggressive nature in such a way to where it tears up a community. So you have rebellion times 70, which equals a full jail cell.
A lot of my friends, they don't really have fathers at home. Really, the friends that I do hang out with only know one person who actually has a mom and a dad. And his dad, he's always there, but at the same time he's not, because he's always drunk and stuff. But he really doesn't care about that. He's still doing things with his life. But the rest of my friends, I don't really think they have fathers at home. But they try to act like they do. They harbor the things that they see outside the home, and they take that in and imitate that instead of looking at the TV, watching Barack Obama, like having a good influence. They take in the drug dealers, the gang, the rappers, the hip-hop rappers these days, like Lil Wayne. They take in that kind of stuff, drugs, alcohol, stuff like that.
This is what our young boys are facing in 2009, living in a home where there is no dad. It's that serious. And it's not the fatherlessness that necessarily gets them into trouble with the law. It's the bitterness from the fatherlessness that gets them into trouble. Because now when the 70 get together, well, they're looking for identity. Because let me tell you, all 70 of these young brothers are insecure. And they're looking for an identity. So they begin to name themselves Crip, Blood, Vice Lord, El Rican. And once they get together and they create an identity for themselves, now they want to go out and prove themselves. But it is all because they did not or have not been taught the proper identity of themselves at home for the lack of a father.
A lot of times our young men, they like to gravitate towards other young men in groups, or they're searching for a father figure.
That's how they get in trouble sometimes,
exactly.
Searching for a father figure.
They end up in gangs. So you're dealing with being a drug dealer, you're dealing with assault crimes, you're dealing, where you have violent nature of crimes.
If he's looking to a powerful figure, if he's looking to a dominating figure, he's trying to find that in life, and he seeks this naturally. Well, you get it from your dad. But if you don't get it from your dad, then that does not mean that that boy still is not seeking that authoritative figure. So too often, the father is not there. And the young brother, he sees that form of power in the dope man. He sees that form of power in the pimp or the gang leader. And when he recognizes what he's been looking for all of his life, he naturally follows, not understanding that you can seek power without hurting others. You can seek power without selling dope.
I know that I cannot raise this child to be a man because I'm not a man. So I'm not afraid to admit that and ask for the help that I need in getting him where he needs to go.
It's unfortunate that a mother has to support and raise her child by herself. Right. But if she finds herself in that predicament, what I suggest that she does is she finds a mentor for herself, and she finds a mentor for her child. And that mentor should be a male positive influence, someone that looks like him, but someone that's active in the community and someone who's doing something in the community.
You have to have that young boy in an environment where he sees what it is that he wants to become. Just because you are a single mother and you face the challenge of being a woman trying to make a boy into a man does not mean that you have to go at it alone. And there are certain ways that you can manipulate circumstances so that the void that is missing in your child's life won't be so large.
I have uncles who I can go to, ask questions, spend time with, and just chill out and hang with them and learn.
I'll call someone and go, hey, your nephew might need a little uncle time. He might need a little man time. I have a guy friend that'll take him fishing. I have several other friends that'll take him, places and do things with him just so he'll know the male bond, because I know I can't give him that. So I make sure I do what I can to make sure he gets it.
So if you are in a position where you have brothers who are uncles to your child, or you have someone in the neighborhood who is a man that your son can look up to, do your best to place your child in an environment around people like that, because children usually become what they see.
There's somebody in your life, be it your father, your minister, the youth minister at your church, the youth minister at someone else's church, the coach at the school. There is somebody that will listen to you if you are willing to say, hey, I need some help making this man-child a productive man, and they'll help you.